Act 1 of Adelgitha, or The Fruits of a Single Error, by Matthew Lewis. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Cast of Characters.
Michael Ducas, Emperor of Byzantium. Read by Thomas Peter.
Robert Guiscard, Prince of Apulia. Read by Larry Wilson.
Lothair, a Norman knight. Read by Todd.
Alciphron, a Grecian nobleman. Read by Sam Munson.
Dercetus, a Grecian nobleman. Read by T.J. Burns.
Rainulf,
Officer of Guiscard.
read by Son of the Exiles.
Julian, an officer of Guiscard. Read by Alan Mapstone.
Adelgitha, Princess of Apulia. Read by Lian Yao.
Emma, Princess of Byzantium. Read by Devorah Allen.
The Abbess of St. Hilda. Read by Sandra Schmidt.
Claudia, an Italian lady. Read by Sonia.
Female peasant. Read by Eva Davis.
Other female peasant. Read by April 6090.
The Chorus, read by Roger Moline.
Stage directions, read by phone. Act 1. Scene 1. A grove, with the chapel and shrine of St. Hilda. In the latter lamps are burning, and the doors are closed. The sun is rising. Claudia is discovered, leaning against the pillar of the shrine, left.
Hail, welcome morn! At length thy rising glories gleam on the convent spires, and lo! yon lamps with fainter rays illume the shrine's arched windows where Adelgitha watches. Sure, if virtue ever found peculiar favor from high heaven, her prayers are heard, and Guiscard lives and triumphs.
A bell tolls, and nuns are seen descending.
Hark! 'Twas the convent bell. And see, the abbess to chant their matins in yon chapel leads her white-robed train. Ah, heaven-devoted sisters, how wise that choice which from her pangs exempts you, who weeps away the night, and dreads at morning to hear a son or husband lives no more.
The Abbess of St. Hilda enters with a train of nuns. Claudia, kneeling.
Most honored lady, at thy feet in duty suppliant I bend.
May the saint's blessing, daughter, aid thee to struggle against a sinful world, and guide thy pilgrim steps to grace and goodness.
Claudia rises.
Huh? Wherefore burn those lamps?
In yonder shrine, with prayer and penance, has Apulia's princess passed the long night, imploring heaven that morn might bring glad tidings of her lord in safety.
Well may she rue that day when Michael Ducas, Byzantium's exiled emperor, sought these shores, and sued at Guiscard's feet for aid and shelter. His suit was granted, and perhaps ere this, that life on which depends Apulia's welfare has perished by some Grecian rebel's sword.
And can such fears alarm St. Hilda's abbess? Doubts she of heavenly love or heavenly justice? Has virtue guardian angels? If she has, then guardian angels watch over Guiscard's safety.
Against that virtue weigh the cause he fights for.
The cause he fights for is an exiled king's.
Weigh too that exile's guilt, which lost him empire.
He who that empire seized was guiltier far. Erred Michael? Still Alexius was his subject. Wronged were the Greeks? Still Michael was their king.
What then? Are subjects bound and sovereigns free? Free to be proud, vindictive, cruel, false? In fine, to be what Michael was?
No, mother, but that which Michael was he is not now. His power is crushed. Led by his weeping daughter, suppliant I saw him kneel at Guiscard's throne, and none to Guiscard ever knelt in vain. I feel like Guiscard, feel that heart is marble which heaves no sigh at sight of ruined greatness, and hate that light which only glares to show faults which affliction's iron hand has chastened.
Claudia, thy blame is just. I own my error. And when reproof swells on my lips again, I'll think, he suffers, and reserve my censure for those who sin and prosper. Means your princess to join our matin rites?
She waits your coming.
'Tis well.
Going.
Yet comes not Claudia?
Straight I'll follow. But lo! Byzantium's princess, beauteous Imma, bends to this shrine her steps. O chide not, mother, if from your pious rites I steal some moments to whisper comfort to yon royal mourner.
Chide thee? Nay, Claudia, take my heart's best wishes to aid thy gracious office. Now, sisters, to the chapel. Farewell, daughter.
Exeunt abbess and nuns into chapel.
So sad. I fear our unowned youth. Ah, why is virtuous love so rarely happy?
Enter Imma and ladies. Imma, speaking to herself.
Still does he live? Sun, does he see thee still? Or that pure blaze which fires the orient sky, so bright to others, is it dark to him? O father, father, couldst thou but think like me, a straw-thatched cottage, Lothair, and you, would fill my heart's whole circle, and then who would might wear Byzantium's crown.
So early from thy couch, my princess?
Oh, such a night, my Claudia! Such sights, such bloody glaives, such burning towns filled all my broken dreams. No news yet from Durazzo?
Lady, none, but soon.
Oh, dread suspense! My father's throne, perhaps his life, hangs on this battle's issue. Perhaps, ere this, our good, our glorious champion has signed in blood our ruin and his own, and Adelgitha soon, o'er Guiscard's corse, will curse the day she pitied exiled Imma.
Claudia, artfully.
Perhaps Lothair too?
Imma, catching the name with eagerness.
Ay, that good Lothair! He, the gentlest, loveliest, bravest, best! He, whose kind arms on the Adriatic waves from pirates saved my life and dearer honour. Oh, ere I hear those words, Lothair has perished. Come, friendly death, and join me to Lothair.
Lothair, a foundling youth, a nameless warrior, and thou Byzantium's princess.
Oh, I know it, know that my passion's folly, ruin, madness, but still I love, and loving, still must think thy deeds, Lothair, more noble than my birth, thy heart, Lothair, more precious than my treasures, and one fond glance shot from thine eyes more brilliant than all the jewels in my father's crown.
See where that father comes.
He frowns. Away then, I dare not meet him now.
Crosses to left.
What fear you, princess? Those frowns are not for you.
Alas, alas, when thus he frowns, he's ever fearful, Claudia. He had a page, no fairer, sweeter child e'er blessed a mother. Dear my father loved him, yet, stung with sudden rage, oh, can I tell it? He stabbed him, stabbed the innocent boy. Oh, heaven, how painful 'tis to mark a parent's errors, and not esteem where duty bids us love. He comes. Fly, Claudia, fly.
Exeunt into the chapel. Enter Michael Ducas and Dorsitus.
I'll hear no more. Must I not sleep nor wake, but sung to rest, or from my slumbers roused with Guiscard's praises? The screech owl's boding cry, the approaching howl of famished wolves, the chant of midnight witches, nay, in my only child's expiring groan were music to the praise of him I hate.
And wherefore hate him? Serves he not your cause? Is it not for you that now before Durazzo his troops are leaguered, and his life exposed? Is it not for you?
Now be that hour forever cursed which saw the Emperor of Byzantium suppliant, implore a Norman pirate's aid. I was not born to ask, but to command. My task was to confer, not sue for favours. Yet now by Guiscard's aid, through Guiscard's bounty, 'tis given me to exist. Ah, curses! Curses! I sink oppressed by weight of obligations, and each fresh service seems an added crime.
Yet, in his eyes, whose interest they advance, even crimes might well look fair.
No, no. Were life and empire my choice, I'd rather plunge in neighbouring Etna than own life and empire to this new Cato's grace, this Norman Brutus. But last night Dercetus, a ruffian, hot with wine, cried, "Lo, where goes the pensioned emperor? Had he ruled like Guiscard, he need not here exist on Guiscard's arms." Gods! What strange patience must that man possess, who calmly listens to a rival's praises, nor loathes that glory which obscures his own.
Crosses to right. Dercetus, aside.
The ungrateful tyrant chills my blood with horror.
What sayest thou, slave?
If thus his sight afflicts you, soon come the hour when you shall meet no more.
That hour is past, if Phocian's sword be sharp.
Phocion?
That Persian slave who left Otranto, 3 days since then are over, conveyed to Phocian my mandate, midst the battle's heat and tumult, to plunge his sword in Guiscard's heart.
Oh, Emperor!
Then will I seize my rival's falling sceptre, use it to strike Alexius from my throne, and, placing Adelgitha there, salute a queen of Byzantium and of Michael's heart.
Will she accept that heart?
She will. She must.
What? She, the model of all wives, all women, whose passion for her lord. On man never doted woman as dotes on Guiscard, Adelgitha. Her love, her virtue.
There's the charm, Dercetus. But oh, 'twere bliss to bend this stubborn beauty, crush the proud fabric of her idol, honour, and, while she weeps to view its ruins, teach her she is fond, and frail, and false, in short, a woman.
Crosses left.
By Claudia's lips she charged me here attend her.
The organ is heard.
And hark! The organ speaks the matins o'er. The doors unclose. She comes. Retire, Dercetus.
Exit Dercetus. The doors of the shrine open, centre. Adelgitha is discovered in mourning, kneeling at an altar. Emma, Claudia, the abbess, and nuns surround her. During the following speech, Emma kneels to Michael Ducas and seems to receive his blessing.
Chaste sisters, take my thanks. Your holy comfort was balm to my torn heart. Though sad, I'm tranquil. Though cheerful, I'm resigned, and now, submissive, I will meet heaven's will. Let heaven or smile or frown.
Just is thy thought, and for the world 'twere well, thought all like thee. Now pardon, gracious princess, for convent duties call me hence.
Dear mother, use your free will. Your will is my best pleasure.
Abbess and nun return to the convent. Adelgitha to Claudia.
Friend, join the train. Yon height o'erlooks the bay. Thence mayst thou first discern the bark which brings me those tidings which I long, yet dread to hear.
Oh, be that office mine. With restless eye I'll watch the waves. No, not a speck shall scape me. And when at length I spy the wished-for sail, so swift I'll speed, I'll make the zephyrs jealous to find their wings outstripped.
My kind, sweet Emma.
Emma, kissing her hand.
My friend, my brother, Claudia, come.
Exit with Claudia.
Now, princess, obedient to your summons.
We're alone, and what I've now to say requires no witness. When driven by desperate rebels from Byzantium, 'twas here you sought protection.
Say 'twas here I found it.
Our means were small, our court can boast no splendour, but what was ours we gave.
And gave it nobly, gave it with freedom, which endeared the gift.
E'en at this hour my lord beneath Durazzo sustains your cause.
He does.
His wealth is lavished, his blood is risked for you.
I own his favours. Sure, if to man ere man owed gratitude, to him I owe it.
Crosses to left.
Your gratitude?
'Tis his, and his of right. None doubts it, sure.
None should.
None dares.
None does. Know you that scroll?
Showing a letter. Michael, starting.
Ha, faithless slave!
Aside.
The letter I sent to Phocian.
Robbers slew the bearer, and midst his plunder was this writing found. Straight to my hands 'twas given, for e'en those robbers whose blood, if seized, had streamed by Guiscard's justice, rejoiced to save that precious life which he, for whom that life is risked, would fain have taken.
Michael, aside.
Confusion.
Here it stands, the ungrateful name. Is not thy hand thy seal? And were these wanting, does not the inhuman business it enjoins declare that none but Michael was the writer? Canst thou deny?
Michael, aside.
My heart can bear no more, and I must vent its rage or die. Yes, princess, yes, 'twas my hand which traced that plan of death, and from my soul I wish the murder done. I hate thy Guiscard, hate him fiercely, deadly. And wouldst thou know what most excites my hate? He's Adelgitha's husband.
Adelgitha, surprised.
How? What cause?
Princess, I love thee.
Adelgitha, starting, then after a moment's pause, with contempt.
Thou!
To frenzy love thee. And with what strange, what fierce, what desperate passion, judged by this rash avowal. Those bright eyes, if I am guilty, lighted me to guilt. They bade me murder Guiscard. They seduced me suppliant to clasp the Norman pirate's knees. They make me feel, those stars of Michael's fortune, Michael were wretched on Byzantium's throne unless he shared that throne with Adelgitha.
If I so long have listened to these insults, 'tis that surprise and anger struck me dumb. Thou rival Guiscard! Couldst thou hope her love, who shares that heroes, could e'er stoop to thee? Thou only couldst by thinking my taste erroneous as thy heart is base.
Michael, choking with rage.
How? You wrong me, princess. As my wife and empress, placed on Byzantium's throne.
Adelgitha, ironically.
Byzantium's throne! O fair and tempting gift, O generous proffer! Yet while you make it, 'twere as well, methinks, did you reflect, unless by Guiscard's valour Byzantium's throne will not be yours to give. Then pardon, mighty prince, if I decline these gracious offers, if I dare prefer glory with Guiscard to contempt with thee, and think that he who succours banished kings is nobler than a king whose crimes have banished.
Crosses to right.
Proud woman, darest thou?
Adelgitha, with a commanding air.
Hold! For Imma's sake, 2 days I give thee to provide some refuge. So long I'll hide thy fault from Guiscard's vengeance, but on the 3rd this scroll.
I thank you, princess, and for 2 days shall count my life secure, depending on a woman's silence. Oh, I could dash my front on earth for trusting to woman's gratitude or woman's sense.
Crosses to right. Adelgitha, calmly.
Thus ever rail their tongues at female judgment, who want that worth which merits female love. But thou, ne'er seeking love, content with pleasure, cursed with indulgence of each vain caprice, suspecting treason e'en on beauty's bosom, and tasting poison in each honeyed kiss, mayst thou still think all women false and light, incapable of faith, unfit for trust, and born to be man's slave, not man's companion? Such may they think us still, who act like thee. I cannot wish them worse than such to think us.
Emma, without, right.
Speed, princess, speed!
Hark, Emma comes.
Enter Emma, right.
Oh, speed! Swift cuts abark the billows, and the shores groan with the throng of anxious citizens.
Crosses to left.
Shall we not hasten?
On before, sweet maid. I'll follow straight.
Exit Emma, left. Adelgitha, in a decided tone.
Forget not what I've said, nor brave the lightnings of my hero's eye. 2 rules are Guiscard's, ne'er to sin himself, and ne'er to pardon others when they sin. Then dread to meet his wrath, be timely prudent, fly with thy shameful secret, fly and live. Farewell.
Crosses left.
And thou who speak'st so stern and high, dost thou not fear that?
I fear thee. Oh no, Salerno's daughter was not born to fear.
Salerno's daughter?
Ay, that name, it seems, has reached your hearing. Then I need not add, dishonour, and that name have still been strangers. And she, whose veins can boast that hero's blood, and she, whose heart retains that hero's lessons, rest thou assured, thinks nothing bright but virtue, and nothing dreadful but disgrace.
Exit left.
Salerno's daughter? Should it be? Dercetus.
Enter Dercetus, right.
My prince.
Those letters which the dying Norman gave to thy care in Astra's wood. Thou hast them?
The portrait, too.
The portrait? Find it straight, and bring it to my chamber. Speed, Dercetus.
Exit Dercetus, right. Michael, alone.
Each fresh reflection gives my hopes fresh vigour. And if those hopes prove just, the game's my own. Compelled to silence, suppliant for my mercy, my rival dead. But how? That young Lothair, 'tis plain as heart is Emma's. Could I win him? Why doubt it? May not all be won? And has not each man his price for those who choose to pay it? When offers fail, virtue's not strong, but dear. And that stern honour, which disdains a dukedom, a sceptre shown, will bow and take the bribe.
Exit right. End of Act 1. Act 2 of Adelgitha, or The Fruits of a Single Error by Matthew Lewis. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 2. Scene 1. Gothic chamber. A sofa on right. Enter Emma.
He's safe. He's well. Oh, happy, happy Emma. He's safe. He's well. Flow, dews of rapture, flow. Yet, is it real? Is it not a dream, a charm, a fairy fiction? Oh, heaven, I fear it. Still, then, breathe my lips to hush my doubts those words, those heavenly words. He's safe. He's well. Hark! Hark! I hear his footsteps.
Lothair, without.
Emma!
I hear his voice.
Enter Lothair. Lothair, throwing himself at her feet.
My princess!
My Lothair!
A moment's pause.
Art safe? Quite safe, Lothair?
Weeping.
Eloquent tears! What words could speak your meaning? Safe, sweet, safe, and Emma's still, and ever, ever Emma's.
Rises.
You ask not of Durazzo's fight?
I see thee, and having thee have all. Yet say, brave Guiscard
is safe, my love, is conqueror of Durazzo, and ere the sun ascends his midday chariot, the hero's keel will bite on Otranto's shore.
Blessed be those words for Adelgitha's sake.
Even now I left her. Hadst thou seen her rapture, such tears, such sobs, while ever and anon she thanked heaven's grace, too bounteous to its handmaid, then bade her damsels bring her nuptial robes, throw wide her castle gates to mirth and feasting, and still exclaimed, "Rejoice, rejoice, Apulia! Your hero lives, has conquered, and returns."
Sure, none e'er felt more love.
Sure, none e'er gave it to one more worthy. Oh, that great proud day, when, scarred by Grecian fire and hostile myriads, our troops resolved to raise Durazzo's siege, and thronged to gain their vessels. Swift as lightning flew Guiscard to the crowded port, and, dashing the foremost rebel back, "Turn, turn!" he cried. "Shame to the vanquished, to the victor's glory! No flight, no refuge, no resource but triumph! Normans, you conquer here, or die!" he said. Then hurled a firebrand midst the fleet, and swiftly spread the devouring flames from ship to ship. Each trembled, each turned pale, till each and all, fired by the hero's fire, with one accord, brandished their swords, struck their broad shields, and shouted, "Right, Guiscard, right! We'll conquer here, or die!"
'Twas bravely dared, but to my ears, Lothair, the tale of war still bears a painful sound. I see in captured towns but mangled corses, I hear in victory's shouts but dying groans, and think one flower from pity's wreath more precious than laurel groves watered with tears of blood. Your prince is great, is good, I own his virtues, but still those virtues wear so stern an aspect.
Stern to the wicked, lenient to the weak.
Ah, friend, thy partial eyes.
No, princess, no. Judge by this fact. That day we forced Durazzo, while war still raged, the streets all ran with blood, and blazing towers crushed in their fall alike the victors and the vanquished. Mid the tumult, a fierce Varangian from its mother's arms had torn a newborn babe. Wild shrieked the matron to heaven for aid.
Alas!
Nor shrieked in vain, for Guiscard heard her. To the tower he flew, and, while his left hand caught the child, his right seized by his yellow locks the wild barbarian, and hurled him from the walls. Next with his scarf did Guiscard bind the babe's slight wounded throat, and gently on its mother's breast replaced it. Wildly she caught it, sank upon her knee, traced in its blood a cross upon its brow, and called it Guiscard. Then his great heart melted, his stout frame trembled, and I saw tears forcing through his closed helm their way. By heaven, I never thought strength so glorious as I thought his weakness, or man worth envying, till I saw those tears.
O lovely act! Hear it, ye saints, and shower celestial blessings on that hero's head.
Michael, without.
Where stays the knight?
Hark, 'tis my father's voice. Dear friend, be wary.
Fear not.
Enter Michael Ducas.
Ha, Lothair, your mission, warrior.
The mighty lord, from Guiscard I bring glad news. Byzantium's free, the usurper fled none knows whither, and the flag of Ducas flows from Durazzio's towers. My prince more fully details in these his victory.
Presenting letters.
How, proud youth? Methinks Byzantium's lord might claim thy knee.
Lothair, calm and firm.
Your pardon, Emperor. 'Tis not pride restrains me, but knightly honour. Ne'er may Normans kneel save to their own liege lord, nor e'er from me shall foreign king receive that suppliant homage sacred to heaven, my mistress and my prince.
Ha! Darest thou, haughty stripling?
Oh, best father, unbend that frowning brow. He meant no insult, and though his knee withholds its show of duty, Lothair would die to serve you. Sooth he would.
Michael, sternly.
Emma, retire.
Alas, have I offended? Nay, pray you frown not, father. I obey.
Exit. Lothair, aside while the Emperor opens his letters.
In grief she goes.
Looking out.
Gods, of what marble must that man be framed who feels not on his heart, like molten lead, Each tear his brutal harshness costs a woman. How's this?
Michael, furious.
Thou strumpet, Fortune, wilt thou ne'er blush to follow Guiscard's car, chained like a slave? Still wilt thou shower thy laurels on him, and none but him? He won the battle, he seized the town, he gives me back my kingdom. Ere I accept his gift, may the earth open and swallow up that kingdom. May Byzantium, the day he crowns me, fall on him and me, and one vast ruin crush us.
Lothair, aside.
What can mean this strange and sudden passion?
Hear me, youth. Darest thou be great, be happy? Darest thou merit my daughter's hand?
Great prince!
I know thou lovest her. Darest thou deserve her? Say.
Can man deserve so bright a gem? Oh, if he can, say how. Thou canst not say what I'd not dare for Emma. Through Arab hosts command me hew my passage, and plant the cross e'en on their prophet's tomb. Drop where Charybdis foams your crown, and bid me retrieve it from the whirlpool's ravenous jaws. Name aught that's strange and dire, some wondrous deed, so hard it joins in one the Herculean labours, so dread its mention makes the hearer faint. Nor doubt, for Emma's sake, that deed I'll do, or perish in the attempt.
Indeed, I'll try thee. I have a foe.
He from this hour is mine.
He must not live.
He must not, or Lothair. Declare your wrongs, his name, and straight I'll seek him, and hurl defiance in his face.
Rash stripling, thou know'st not what thou sayest. So great is power, his rank so lofty, never may thine arm be raised against his in combat.
What then wouldst thou? What mean'st thou I should do?
Surprise him sleeping, plant in his heart thy sword, and Emma's thine.
Lothair, starting in horror.
Sleeping?
Straight thy crimson hand shall clasp my daughter's in Byzantium's sceptre. Speak but the words, he is dead. Let me but see thy limbs dyed ghastly beauties in the blood of that loathed basilisk.
Hold, name him not. What I have heard thee say would now compel me to espouse his cause. Farewell.
Crosses left.
Stay, youth. Reflect. A crown invites thee, a crown and Emma. Be wise, be wise.
Wise, sayest thou? Prince I will be, since he shows wisdom most who loves virtue. That narrow cunning, whose short sight ne'er looks beyond this orb and present bliss, perhaps might count these offers tempting. But true wisdom, whose prescient eye, overleaping time and space, descries new worlds, pure joys, and life eternal? This makes me feel man's heaven or hell is conscience. This makes me feel that, robbed of truth and honour, life's charms are lost. And that, if guilt's the price, even Emma's heart would be too dearly purchased.
Think what thou wert, a nameless, base-born orphan. Think what thou art now, a wandering knight whose sword must carve his fortune or he fasts for it. Gods, and must thou prate of guilt and bliss and conscience? Must thou be delicate, thou fondling thou? 'Tis ludicrous. Away!
I hear, and pity the man whose pride it soothes to wound a worm. Heaven pardon you, as I do. To the point, proudly you ask me what I was? I answer, born to be that which thou wert born to be, a man. Again you ask me what I'm now? I answer, that which all admire, a soldier. Nor can I think it blasts a soldier's courage to own he dares not do an act of shame.
Vile thing! Such notions leave the stock from which you sprang no longer doubtful. Base were your parents, as your feelings base.
'Twould sooner strike a generous mind, methinks, not what my parents were, but what I am. You boast a race by ancestors ennobled. I boast a name ennobled by myself. Pure from all flaws, and sacred from corruption, Read honour's patent written in this scar, received while fighting by my sovereign's side, who dates this line from Egypt's earliest kings, may boast more ancient titles, none more glorious. Nor can a monarch's veins hold nobler blood than flowed from mine in the service of my country.
Hence, slave, nor tease me with this cant. I hate thee.
If for such thoughts you hate me, prince, I know not if most you merit pity or contempt.
Horn sounds.
But hark! The warder from the beacon tower speaks Guiscard's fleet in sight. I go to join him. Yet, ere I leave thee, learn this truth from me. To love is happiness, to hate is woe. And while such actions as deserve to win thy heart's affections make it swell with venom, thou canst not find worse foes than thine own passions, nor torture others as spite tortures thee.
Exit left.
Braved by this froward boy, shame and confusion, yet 'twas ill-judged to urge. Now, Dercetus.
Enter Dercetus, right.
That portrait, quick.
'Tis here.
Giving it.
By heavens, the same. 'Tis well. Retire.
Exit Dercetus, right.
Now escape me if thou canst, imperious dame. This proof secures thee mine. Yes, since I hold her secret, she'll be silent. The interest's chains, though fine, are formed so binding, their strength can fetter e'en a woman's tongue.
Exit right. Scene 2. The port of Otranto. An extensive view over the Adriatic Gulf. Citizens and peasants of both sexes are grouped in attitudes of expectation. Shouts as scene opens.
Smile, Apulia, smile once more. All thy grief and fears are o'er. Guiscard's galley seeks thy shore. Smile, Apulia, smile once more.
The fleet traverses the background.
Valor now his strength reposes, war at length has smoothed his frown. Duteous love with freshest roses wreathes the victor's laurel crown.
The bugle sounds.
Grateful prayers to heaven ascend, shouts of joy the welkin rend, while in Guiscard's name we blend. Hero, patriot, sovereign, friend.
Enter Lothair, left. As the chorus ends, a galley arrives from left. Guiscard stands on the deck, attended by Tancred, Rainulf, and knights. All land. Adelgitha enters, richly dressed, with ladies and attendants, right.
Guiscard!
My Adelgitha!
Welcome, conqueror! Welcome to this fond heart! O heaven, how bravely the warrior looks, from foreign wars returned, when propped upon his sword with blood encrusted, he tells his country, "Rest, loved parent, rest! Thy son has toiled, and thou mayst sleep securely. Oh, my prince, my hero!"
Nor at Bari's siege looked she less glorious, who descried the javelin aimed at her husband's breast, and rushing forwards received it in her own, then
Silence, silence!
Then tearing from her wound the dart, she kissed it, fainted, yet fainting smiled, and smiling cried, "Happy she dies who dies to save her husband."
Blessed am I that I did so. Oh, that moment was worth my whole past life. Nor would I barter the scar that wound has left for all the gems which ocean's waves have buried.
Noble creature, how have I deserved so rich a treasure?
Embracing her. Enter Michael Ducas and 4 guards, left. Michael, aside.
Ay, seize the present hour. Ere long I'll dash your cup of joy with bitter. Hail, Apulia, I come to thank thee. But so vast thy claims, no words can pay my debt. Favours less great, I own, would please me better, and my soul shrinks to count my obligations.
The man who boasts a generous heart ne'er grudges that bliss to others which himself esteems purest and best. the bliss of doing good. Think thus, Byzantium, nor is't much I give thee, 'tis but thine own, no more. Durazzo's thine, and soon the Grecian crown.
O generous spirit, which gives a crown as 'twere an orange! Shame its fire should only warm Apulia's rocks. Unsheathe thy sword, drag from his diamond throne Arabia's lord, and make his neck thy footstool. Thou needst but will it, and 'tis done.
No, Emperor, I've nor the power nor will. Be mine to rule not kingdoms widely stretched, but justly governed. Few be my subjects, so those few be happy. And if their hearts be mine, I've realms enough. Here break we off.
To Adelgitha, who, during these speeches, seems to welcome the knights.
Best love, I marvel much. You ask not of that danger.
Adelgitha, alarmed.
How? What danger?
Thou hast not heard, then?
Nothing.
Mark, then. Mark and admire. Hot was the fight. Death ranged insatiate o'er the field, and his white courser dyed its mane red in blood. Darts hid the sun, and one transfixed my steed. He fell.
Oh, heavens!
Fell, and the usurper marked his fall. He reached me. I saw his falchion gleam. 'Twas raised one moment, and all was lost, when lo, a youth!
A youth!
Sprang from his horse, bestrode me. Fierce as guards her young, the tigress, dealt he blows around. Now here, now there, on this side and on that, till his true sword cut through the usurper's casque, who on his courser's neck sank senseless.
Gods!
Then fled the Greeks full fast. The stripling raised me, gave me his steed, regained Durazzo, scaled its walls, unbarred the ponderous gates, and bade the imperial flag stream from its towers, loud shouting, "Reign long, reign, Michael Ducas!"
O blessed youth! O gallant bearing! Tell me, my dear lord, what happy mother boasts so brave a son? How may I thank him best? O name him, name him!
Guiscard, smiling.
That youth, behold him in Lothair.
Was he? O heart, was he indeed?
He, none but he, whom Adelgitha placed about my person, and whom she now must thank for Guiscard's life. Advance, brave youth.
Adelgitha, while Lothair kneels to her.
I fostered, reared, and loved thee. If thou hast cost me care, or owest me duty, thou hast discharged thy debt.
She takes a chain with a cross from her neck and throws it round Lothair's.
Still wear this jewel, and while 'tis yours, remember, when I gave it, I blessed the hour that you received existence, since you have lived to rescue Guiscard's life.
Michael, aside.
Now should she weep. Right, what exhaustless rivers must female eyes contain!
I fain would thank thee, but my full heart...
Rising.
O honoured happy Guiscard, I'll call from heaven no blessings on thy head. Thou hast them all, possessing Adelgitha. He, on whom heaven bestows a wife like her, whate'er his merits, must be still o'erpaid.
This praise so fervent.
Can I praise her coldly, when that I live and that I merit life are both her gifts? Left at his father's gate, a speechless orphan.
Adelgitha to Lothair.
Cease, nor blame that virtue so nice. To hear even praise too warm offends it.
Ironically, to Michael.
O sir, 'twere excellent did all, like you, inculcate morals which, like you, they practised.
Such praise outstrips my merit.
Aside.
By yon son I'll be revenged, insulter.
Enter Julian, right. Julian, to Guiscard, who has been talking with Tancred, etc.
Prince, the council...
I come. Lothar, attend me. For a while, farewell, best love. Warriors, farewell, and trust me. The memory of your faith shall live unfading in Guiscard's grateful heart. Well have ye served me, and while Apulia boasts such sons, her genius, though hostile myriads storm her sea-beat coasts, shall hear them threaten with a smile of scorn, then with her trident plunge them in the billows. Those swords which struck so hard in foreign lands shall strike with tenfold strength to guard their own. And here I swear, while Guiscard rules Apulia, still shall each soldier say, who draws his sword, "My country's free, my sovereign's kind and grateful, his cause is just, and yonder's one loves justice."
Exit with Lothair and knights, peasants, etc. Adelgitha, going.
My gallant Guiscard!
Lady, stay and deign some moment's audience, but alone.
Adelgitha, to her attendants, who go off right.
Withdraw.
To Michael, coldly.
Speak, and be brief.
Michael, hypocritically.
O princely dame, unbend that gloomy brow. Thou seest thy virtue's convert. Grateful you've spared him that remorse which tortures those who pollute the shrine of female honour. I've witnessed that remorse, that dying night.
What night?
Some years are past since at the chase in Astra's wood I lost my way. Dercetus alone pursued my steps. Night's shades were rising, when lo, a groan! We hastened to the place. A knight lay stabbed by robbers. "Come," he cried, "strangers approach, and while I've breath to tell it, hear the confession of a guilty man, and vouch for his remorse." Then he told a tale so sad, a maid of noble birth by solemn vows seduced, abandoned, left to shame and anguish, heavy at that hour sat on his soul her wrongs. He charged us find her, restore her letters, paint his grief, and bid her pray for the sinful soul of George of Clermont. The tale affects you, princess.
Adelgitha, endeavouring to hide her emotion.
Well, it may. I cannot choose but pity that sad lady.
What? Pity her, whose guilty heart has revelled in wanton love and pleasure's wild excess. Perhaps her slips of youth forgot, on others those fetters now she binds, she broke herself. Perhaps she rules some fond believing husband, who thinks her now a saint. But when he knows her, he'll throw her from his bosom like a scorpion, and I'll unmask.
The warrior named her not.
Name her? 'Twas needless, for the damsel's letters, so fond, so sad, so full of passion, speaking in every line her love and shame so plainly. This picture, too, though 17 years since then have winged their flight, this swan-like neck must still be arched and fair, still must these lips of coral swell ripe and full, nor can these eyes have lost all their dark brilliance. Please you look, fair princess, nay, look, I pray.
Forcing her to look at the picture, she casts a hasty glance on it and starts away in terror. He proceeds in a tone of ironical softness.
It seems you know these features.
In a terrible voice, while he grasps her by her arm.
Now, scorn me if thou darest.
Exit left. Adelgitha, after a pause during which she seems petrified with horror, looks round her with a confused air, then strikes her forehead and exclaims like one in despair.
I'm lost! I'm lost!
End of Act 2. Act 3 of Adelgitha, or The Fruits of a Single Error by Matthew Lewis. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 3. Scene 1. The Palace Gardens. On right, a bank. The castle towers are seen through the trees in the background. Adelgitha, much agitated, enters with a letter, followed by Claudia and Dercetus, right. Adelgitha, to herself.
This to me.
To Dercetus.
'Tis well. Inform thy lord, Claudia shall bear my answer.
Aside.
Fiend,
Barbarian!
Humbly, I take my leave.
Exit right. Adelgitha giving way to her emotion.
Oh, Claudia, Claudia, I'm lost, betrayed!
Most cruel chance, which threw you defenceless in his power.
Read there, and learn his insults and my danger.
Claudia, looking on the letter.
How? An audience? Alone? Within 12 hours, else threats that Guiscard shall know.
There shall know, shall scorn, shall hate me.
I trust not so. Your heartfelt deep contrition, your charms, your worth, his passion, all will plead.
Thou think so? Thou who know'st him, know'st the value he sets on female honour. Oh no, I'm lost.
What must be done? This scroll, thou darest not disobey it.
True, I dare not. Hence with these doubts, I'll meet him.
How?
I'll meet him, sink at his feet, bathe them with tears, implore him to spare a frantic wretch. And if he spurns me and my griefs...
What wilt thou then do?
Die! Die, Claudia, die! Yes, let the worst befall me. That last resource is left me still. A dagger. Better cease to feel than feel to suffer, and death less painful than a life of shame. Ye powers, who read the human soul and long have read remorse in mine, melt ye his marble heart.
Heaven grant it, yet this conference, such close parley, such frequent meetings well may raise suspicion.
True, true.
Should any curious ear surprise your converse,
I were lost.
A private passage leads to St. Hilda's cave.
Right, there, securely, unseen, unheard. Oh, shame! And shall I steal from Guiscard's sight to meet the wretch who dared insult my hearing? Though the skies rained fire, I would not. Lo, where Guiscard comes, and surely in search of me. In that hour, I see those eyes which seek me now, contemptuous shun me. If I've a dagger and a heart, I swear that hour's my last.
Oh, heaven!
'Tis said, 'tis sworn. I cannot, will not live unloved by Guiscard. Could he forgive? Who knows? 12 years of truth, of lasting love and deep remorse. I'll dare it.
What meanst thou?
'Tis the crisis of my fate. I'm desperate, Claudia, desperate. Leave me, leave me.
Exit Claudia, right. Enter Guiscard, left.
At length I'm free. How tedious seemed the duties which kept me from thy sight! But now once more I live for love and thee. Why darts thine eye that piercing glance as it would search my soul? Speak, my best love.
Thou hast a heart, my Guiscard, firm, generous, just.
That heart is Adelgitha's.
Not virtue's more.
No more. As much, for surely virtue and Adelgitha form but one.
Oh, would that now thy heart were mine, mine wholly! Then pity's sigh should drown the voice of justice, and angry honour's flame be quenched with tears.
What means that wish? Thou surely wouldst not plead the cause of vice.
I'd plead the cause of weakness.
Whose cause?
A woman's, and a wretch.
What asks she?
Peace, honour, life, and hopes them all from thee.
From me? More plainly speak.
Among my damsels is one, whose faults of youth I blush to name, when on her cheek 16 had scarcely shed the bright reflection of its roseate wings, while yet she knew not guile, but thought mankind pure as her heart, for then her heart was pure. A wounded youth, beneath her father's roof found kind protection. Long she nursed him, watched him, pitied and soothed. And when she saw him suffer, the fond thing wept herself. He was a villain. Prayers, sighs, tears, oaths, nothing was spared to win her. She listened and believed. Her heart was weak. She fell. His heart was false. He fled.
Best love, thy story both affects and pains. Oh, spare me the tale of sorrows which admit no cure. Her doom is fixed. No power can now recall it. Honor, like life, once lost, is lost forever.
Oh, doom too harsh, which bars out hope and seals the lips of mercy. If all think thus, what, then, avails repentance? Why waste brief life in tears?
Were this life the only life, perhaps were wisely argued. But there's another world, more good, more happy, and hours of pain are paid with heavenly bliss and life eternal. And to thy damsel's tale, her lover fled.
Remorse ne'er left her more, and oh, such anguish, such floods of tears!
I fear they flowed not long. Who once has fallen will fall again, and soon no doubt the tears which her first lover caused her some second kissed away.
No, Guiscard, no! Those suitors young and fair and rich and noble sighed at her feet and vowed themselves her subjects. As Dian's statue cold she heard their suit, and for that false one's sake rejected all. But then came one so past all praise, so perfect, whom to see and love was equal. This wondrous man, born to be loved and love. This man, o'er whom you hold much power.
Ah, no, thou canst not mean it. Thou canst not wish I should exert that power to place pollution in his arms, and bind with Hymen's sacred bands a wanton's temples. She loves, thou sayest, darest love a man of honour? Were she his wife?
Adelgitha, hastily and with great emotion.
She is!
What? Holds my court one man so dead to shame, so blind with passion? He with a wanton shares his name?
He knew not.
Knew not?
Knows not now.
What sayest thou?
Her passion for her lord, her pure, strict morals, 12 years in virtue past concealed.
Oh, monstrous! 12 years concealed? 12 years! What, did she feign so well then? Was she so arch a mistress in dissembling? Fie, fie, 'tis odious!
Crosses to right. Adelgitha, extremely agitated.
Yet one word, one question. Say 'twere thy case. Should some most dear relation, thy friend of youth, thy much-loved sister...
Guiscard, violently.
Mine, proceed not, mine, my sister, mine, O gods! Were I so cursed I own such a shame, and were my heart so base as still to love her, I'd tear that heart out.
Guiscard!
Far let her fly from all the world, but most of all from me.
Adelgitha, with a cry of pain.
My heart will burst!
Just heavens! My love, my life!
Fear not. A sudden faintness.
Nay, but thou art wondrous pale, and no one's near. Rest on this bank. 'Tis well. I'll fly for help.
Going. Adelgitha, seated on bank, right.
No, no!
I'll straight return. Oh, Claudia, Claudia!
Exit, right. Adelgitha, after a pause, clasps her hand and raises them to heaven.
No aid. No mercy. No resource.
She remains as if stupefied. Lothair advances through the trees, left.
But soft, the princess here, alone and weeping.
Oh, Lothair!
Lothair throws himself at her feet.
Oh, pardon this presumption. Can I witness those tears, nor ask their cause and seek to dry them? Can I assist, console, relieve?
Relief? My woes admit of none.
Oh, say not so. My arm, my soul are thine. I'll search, I'll find, some means may sure be found. Oh, deign to trust me. Thou canst not doubt the creature of thy bounty, the orphaned youth whose life's thy gift.
Michael Ducas appears at back, right.
Thou generous youth.
How? Kneeling at her feet?
Yes, yes, I'll trust thee. Thou shalt know my danger. Then counsel, aid, and save me if thou canst. There is a secret.
Here Michael Ducas comes down centre.
Ah, Byzantium!
So, my thoughts then wronged you not. Your heart, it seems, is not such ice but youthful fires can melt it. You counted me your dupe? No, no. I guessed some happier rival steeled your heart, not virtue. And when this morn I mocked your fond emotion, your blush while round his neck you hung yon jewel, that rival stood confessed. 'Tis plain, confirmed. Mary, the scene's well chosen. Murmuring streams, soft beds of fragrant flowers, convenient shades, and amorous ring-doves cooing o'er your heads where your love kneels before you.
Base aspersion! Gods, do I live to hear it?
Mark me, prince. Had living man but Emma's father spoken those words, my sword had struck him dead already. What means thy charge? Thou canst not give it credit thyself. Her spotless virtue.
Hers, her virtue. Tell others that strange tale.
Oh, heavens!
For me, I've found her art. The spell is broken. I know her frail and false.
Now blisters seize his tongue who calls her so.
Lothair, Lothair, this warmth destroys me.
Should I bear with patience to hear thee wronged, thou best and purest? No! He's no man who listens calmly whilst a woman's slandered.
To Michael.
She frail? Oh, insult past enduring. She? Unheard of falsehood.
How?
Yes, Emperor, yes. Whate'er thy rank, I'm for this hour thy equal. I say it, 'tis false. And though an angel spoke it, I'd still repeat, the charge is false as hell.
What? This to me? Thou contradict me, thou! Soars thy presumption then a pitch so high? Minion, because thy silken locks have snared that fond one's heart.
Oh, gods! Yet be wise, the rage which boils my blood.
Dost think I fear it? Let thy rage blaze forth. 'Twill move my laughter. And if thou needst more insults to provoke thee, this makes the measure full.
Striking him. Lothair drawing his sword.
Draw! Draw this moment!
Frantic with passion.
Draw and defend thyself!
This to thy heart, boy.
They fight.
Help! Help!
Michael, raising his sword to stab him.
Thou diest.
Adelgitha, throwing herself before Lothair.
Hold, tyrant, hold, or stab him through my bosom.
Guiscard, without.
Speed, Claudia, speed.
My husband's voice.
He comes. Now tremble.
Enter Guiscard hastily, followed by Claudia, Julian, Tancred, and 8 guards.
Clash of arms. How's this, Lothair? Byzantium too? Their swords unsheathed. Explain. Speak, princess.
Guiscard. Terror chokes my voice. I cannot.
She leans on Claudia.
Yet what fear'st thou now, dear lady? The danger's past. Thou'rt safe. Dost mark, quite safe. 'Tis I who tells thee so, thy friend, thy servant, whose proudest boast will be, he saved thy honour.
Adelgitha, comprehending him.
Then there's hope again.
Her honour saved? From whom?
I wandered near this spot, when shrieks alarmed my hearing. Hither swift I sped, and lo, thy wife by ruffian grasp detained. That ruffian was Lothair.
Lothair?
Adelgitha, struck with horror and surprise.
Oh, monster!
Lothair, confounded.
How?
He drew his falchion. Mine already was bared in virtue's cause. In fierce we fought till by thy footsteps scared.
Oh, monstrous! Princely Guiscard, if e'er I harboured in my breast one wish, one thought injurious to thy consort's virtue, may heaven's red arm— But why assert my innocence? The princess knows it. To her lips I'll trust me.
And by that test I'll stand. Speak, Adelgitha, thy suffrage none can doubt. Declare the truth, unmask the traitor, and confirm my tale.
No, I can bear no more. Unmask the traitor, I will, and show his guilt so black, so hideous, the sickening sun shall veil his orb in clouds, and think mankind no longer worth his care. Hear me, my lord. If there is faith in women, I now assert Lothair is.
Michael, interrupting her and showing the picture, unseen by all but Adelgitha, on whom the attention of the rest is entirely fixed.
Lady, beware.
Speak!
Michael, pointing to the picture and threatening.
Beware.
Adelgitha, hesitating.
Lothair is guilty.
Falls on Claudia's bosom.
Gods! Did I hear aright?
Michael, aside.
I triumph.
Miscreant! Ho, Julian, bear yon villain hence, and chain him deep in the western tower.
Adelgitha, entreating.
He saved your life.
To load it with disgrace? 10,000 lives could not repay the outrage. Bear him away.
One word. By what strange spell yon dark magician in his chains has bound me, I know not. But I know myself most guiltless, and thee, prince, most deceived. I'll say no more. Do with me what thou will. Whate'er thou dost, the memory of thy bounties past shall ne'er die in thy servant's heart. The axe that kills my life shall spare that grateful love I bear thee. E'en at the block, pray that thou neverest may know I perished guiltless, and plead in yonder world of truth and peace my sovereign's cause with him to whom he sent me.
To Adelgitha, sternly.
For thee, who—
He stops, crosses over to her, takes off the jewel which she gave him, restores it with a look of mingled grief and anger, and goes off in silence. Julian and guards follow him. Adelgitha, aside.
Death is sure less painful. I guess God. My bosom bleeds, my brain turns around. Lothair, his youth, his worth. I know not what I say, but spare him.
Think, my love, how base the crime of him thou bidst me spare. His outrage wronged not thee alone, but all thy sex in thee, that sex which should have claimed his best protection. Who strikes his dagger in a female's heart acts kinder than those who stain that female's honour, death being happier than a shameful wife, since she who lives to shame but lives to suffer.
Oh, true, most true.
Aside to Adelgitha.
Thou hear'st him, princess.
Fiend!
To Guiscard.
And can then Adelgitha sue in vain to Guiscard? Can my tears—
Those tears are fruitless. Thy lord is firm. And while you sue, fair princess, forget not that I hold your suit an insult to me, the accuser, me.
In a low voice.
Speak one more word, and all's revealed. I hate that boy. He dies.
Why then? Oh, my fate is fixed. Hope, fare thee well. I'll cease to weary heaven with prayers for blessings. Beset with foes, caught in the toils, distracted, I'll pray no more, or only pray to die. Death heals all wounds. With life all sorrows cease, and heaven will show that mercy man denies.
Exit wildly.
Claudia follow.
Exit Claudia.
Ha! This strong emotion, these tears, this frantic anguish, in some eyes would seem suspicious.
Not in mine, Byzantium. I judge the hearts of others by my own.
Methinks Lothair might make you justly doubt the prudence of this system. Well might raise that boy's ingratitude seem slight regret for lavished care, and bounty misapplied.
No, Emperor, I regret not what I've done, but that his vice prevents my doing more. 12 years I cherished that delightful thought. Virtue was his, and that to me he owed it. The dream is flown, but shall I count as nothing a dream so long as flattering while it lasted? Can his foul action stain my fair intent, or does his falsehood make my act less generous?
I must perforce admire such lofty thoughts, yet more admire the theory than the practice. Farewell, Apulia. Still pursue thy system. Still think all men are just, all women faithful. Still fly convictions light. Still love, still trust, still find thyself deceived, but ne'er grow wiser.
Exit left.
Ungrateful, false Lothair! But no, I'll not lament the good I've done him, but that his vice prevents my doing more. Of man's ingratitude let those complain whose bounty flows to serve themselves, not others. But he ne'er thinks his kindness ill rewarded, who acts as virtue bids, for virtue's sake.
Exit right. End of Act 3. Act 4 of Adelgitha, or The Fruits of a Single Error by Matthew Lewis. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 4. Scene 1. A Gothic chamber. Enter Guiscard, followed by Emma.
Stay, princely Guiscard, and soothe the wretch's anguish. A fearful tale has reached me. He's false. His life is forfeit. Oh, that thought struck like a dagger to my heart. I shrieked, and wild with anguish, hither flew to plead for one, the falsest, dearest, for Lothair.
What plead for one whose crime?
I know it all, his crime, its penalty, and my despair. Oh, judge from this how vast my love's excess. I know him faithless, and adore him still.
And did Lothair possess so rich a gem as Emma's heart, and throw that gem away?
What have I done? Oh, thoughtless girl! Forget my words, forget my wrongs, my love, and only heed my tears and my despair. Spare him! Oh, spare him!
Cease, unhappy fair one, to urge a suit I cannot, must not grant.
Oh, heavens!
Enter Julian.
A Grecian vessel rides in the port, my prince, and brings, 'tis said, terms of submission from the rebel emperor, vanquished Alexius.
Straight I come.
Julian retires up left.
O Guiscard, leave me not thus. Lothair, one look of mercy, one word of hope.
Could you peruse my heart, princess, you'd know a king's most painful moments, and when he sees such tears, and must not dry them. Too blessed were monarchs, if when grief implores they dared indulge that pity which they feel. But he who wisely thinks and justly governs, if prudence and compassion strive, forgets not mercy, though sweet can but relieve a few. But justice is that good which blesses all.
Exit.
He leaves me to despair. Lost, wretched maid, where shall I turn me? Ah, how changed my prospects from those so beauteous which were mine this morn! Lothair returned, was faithful, and was Emma's. He's false, his life is lost, and mine's a blank.
He's gone, and none observe us.
Down left.
Hear me, princess.
Oh, leave me to my grief.
I come to soothe it.
How? Speak.
I guard Lothair.
And wilt thou save him? Say yes, and I'll adore thee.
Born in Spain, I languish for my native land. And wilt thou provide such sums as may from want secure me? This night I'll fly from Guiscard and Otranto, and make Lothair the partner of my fate.
Oh, words of rapture! Speed thy flight, good fellow. My wealth, my gems, rich diamonds, blushing rubies, and chains of pearl which decked a Persian queen, all are thine.
Beneath the western tower, soon as 'tis dark, expect me. Thine own hand shall break thy lover's chains. Hark! Someone comes. Farewell. Till night be cautious.
Exit.
He shall live then. Lothair shall live. But oh, he's false. No matter. He lives, and lives through me. The rest I'll heed not. Oh, could my heart, laid bleeding on the scaffold, redeem thy life, Lothair, I'd gladly rend the trembler from my breast, and tell thee, dying, see, false one, see how fond a heart you stabbed.
Exit. Enter Michael Ducas and Claudia. Michael, holding a letter.
She has judged wisely. Had my threats been scorned, this night, though 'twere my last, had made her story public as the air she breathes. St. Hilda's cavern, while Guiscard is at the banquet, 'tis enough.
Oh, send some words of comfort to my friend. Lothair.
She loves him.
By my hopes of heaven.
Well, well, I know not. In my heart 'tis certain she holds strange power. Perhaps her prayers may move me to spare Lothair, repress my fatal passion, and yield those letters which... But should she fail me?
She will not be assured. O prince, show mercy, and when thou needst it, heaven will show it thee.
Exit.
Go, thou dull thing, and from experience learn that Michael ne'er forgave where once he hated. St. Hilda's cave. 'Twill suit my purpose well, close to the sea. But lo, Apulia comes. Ha! Alciphron.
Enter Guiscard with the parchment, and Alciphron.
Offers so fair deserve acceptance, and I'll urge it strongly, doubt not. Wait thou apart.
Humbly I thank your highness.
Exit.
Health to Byzantium's emperor, for that title at length is thine, not more in right than fact.
Indeed, brought Alciphron.
Alexius proffers to throw wide open his portals, so thou'lt engage to spare his life, and those whose names this scroll contains.
Michael, reading.
Constantius, Phocas, Grecian, men potent with Byzantium's rabble, who bear towards me such deadly hate as tigers bear towards a crocodile. And shall they live to prate of slaughtered sons, and wives dishonoured, and with such piteous tales excite the crowd again to hurl me from my throne? No, no, such men I dare not pardon.
Dare not, say'st thou? O phrase ill-suited to imperial lips! Kings should fear nothing but deserving censure, and he who dares not pardon should not reign.
Gods, give me patience. Is not then enough to know yon cave contains a sleeping lion? But must I wait his rousing to dispatch him, and feel the monster's teeth before I stab? By heaven, 'twere better ne'er to see Byzantium than see it in such fear, and spread my couch nightly on snakes.
And art thou yet learned e'en snakes, if gently used, are rendered harmless, and dance obedient to their tasker's flute? Be the world's friend, and none will be thy foes.
Michael, looking on the parchment.
What's this? The patriarch Priscillian? That false priest who rudely tore the diadem from my brow and bound it round my rivals? Critias too? Eudoxus? Cleon?
Furious.
Now, by heaven, not one of them shall live. The slaves, the traitors! Byzantium mine one hour. Thus I'll use them, and strew their limbs thus round me.
Tearing the parchment, throws it down on left and crosses to right.
'Tis enough. Ho, Alciphron.
Enter Alciphron. Guiscard, pointing to the parchment.
Read there your answer.
Alciphron, starting.
Prince.
When first your exiled sovereign sought my aid, I saw his sufferings and forgot his faults, pitied the monarch and excused the man. I thought, too, in adversity's rough school, he sure had learnt some lessons which might teach him to govern well, if e'er again he governed. I was deceived. Michael rejects your terms. Yet tell Alexius this from me. If e'er on Michael's side again I draw my falchion, may my right arm sink withered.
Michael, stamping in rage.
How confusion!
Then, tyrant, do thy worst. We fear thee not.
To Guiscard.
But since from him estranged, O let Alexius hope that Apulia's aid.
Guiscard, with dignity.
Presumptuous Greek, urge that bold suit no further. Guiscard's sword shall ne'er be drawn in a usurper's cause. Whate'er his faults, there stands your rightful monarch. And though my arms no more oppose Alexius, still shall he find ere long celestial vengeance. Pursue the rebel who dethroned his king. Quit thou my realm. No more.
Exit Alciphron.
Prince, thou hast heard me, and here our ill-assorted union ends. No further aid?
Nay, show thy spite at once, and send me to the usurper's throne in chains. Durazzo shall reward thee.
Emperor, no. What Guiscard once has given, he ne'er resumes. Durazzo's yours. 'Twas conquered in your name, and thither safely shall my barks conduct you. That done, my service ends. To gain Byzantium, what further course you choose.
Should that course prosper, I'll first employ my power to wreak on thee my vengeance for this scorn. There lies my gage and token of defiance, and that hatred which here I swear shall to the grave pursue thee, deep, deadly, and unchanged.
Stretch to the utmost thy power to vex Apulia and its lord. With barks like lotus clouds o'erspread the ocean. Rob all thy realms of men, and at one effort pour thy whole population on our coasts. Still shalt thou see thy squadrons, like ripe corn, beneath the reaper's scythe laid low, encountering the patriot subjects of a patriot prince, who loves his people, whom his people love. Skulk as thou mayest behind thy brazen bulwarks of hired Varangians and degenerate Greeks, I'll find thee, doubt not, hew my desperate passage through swords and shields, nor shall my arm know rest till on thy casque my trusty sword has cleft Byzantium's crown in twain.
I'll hear no more.
Drawing a dagger.
Vain boaster, die!
Attempts to stab Guiscard, who wrests the dagger from him.
Ha!
A pause, after which he returns the dagger.
Take thy steel again, and use it to a nobler end.
Michael stamps in rage.
How now?
Enter Rhinulf.
Lothair has fled, my prince. The traitor Julian has loosed his chains, and shares his flight.
Pursue them, and straight inform me, should Lothair be found.
Exit Rhinulf.
Prince, farewell. We meet no more, except we meet in battle, where one of us must fall.
Exit.
I triumph now. but soon thy haughty front shall strike the earth in anguish. Now, Dercetus.
Enter Dercetus.
Say, is the bark prepared?
Among the rocks. 'Tis anchored.
Call my slaves, collect my treasure, and straight conduct my daughter to the vessel. This night we quit Otranto.
How? This night?
Durazzo's mine, and thither points our course. Speed, speed, my friend.
Exit Dercetus.
And thou, good doting husband, dream on securely, while far hence I bear thy soul's most precious treasure. Thus the pilgrim, while near his couch the snake creeps slow and silent, slumbers unconscious on some flowery bank. Sweet is his rest, his dreams are bright, when, lo, deep strikes the sting, and the wretch wakes to anguish.
Exit. Scene 2. A cavern. Through a natural arch in the center of the back scene the sea is visible, with the moon shining on it. On the right is a rough-hewn staircase, conducting to an upper gallery. On the left is the mouth of an inner cave partly overgrown with ivy and other tangling weeds. It is ornamental with a cross, an image, a skull, and crossbones, etc. On the center flat is the great entrance to the caverns. Julian enters with a torch, conducting Lothair and Imma by the great entrance, central flat, arch. Julian to Lothair.
Here thou mayst rest in safety, while I seek the bark to bear us hence. But, gentle princess, first let me guide thee back.
Lothair to Imma.
And must you go? Oh, first repeat the assurance that no longer you doubt his faith who only lives for you. Say that no more you'll wrong your charms by thinking the heart can ever change that once is yours. And swear by yon fair moon, whose mournful radiance silvers the billows which must waft me hence, no power of absence, and no rival's arts shall e'er deface Lothair from Emma's bosom.
Alas, before your lips affirmed your truth, so much I hoped you true, I half believed it. Yet still such proofs, my father's heavy charge, and she, pure honour's mirror, Adelgitha, she too attested, hence distracting doubts. For I will credit what I wish were true. Still, dear enchanter, breathe those magic vows which charm to rest the tempest of my bosom. E'en though you're false, persuade me that you're faithful. Even though you hate me, swear I'm fondly loved. Close to my heart I'll press the sweet delusion, and kiss the veil that hides such cruel truths.
And will these sounds, which on his parting ear vibrate so sweetly, greet Lothair's return? Soon at thy beauty's shrine adoring monarchs shall boast they bear thy chains, and swear in rapture, if crowns are brilliant, 'tis when Emma wears them. Pleased while you listen to the flattering tale, all thoughts of passion past will fade away, and in some rival's arms thou'lt never remember a wretch like me exists.
Unjust suspicions! Oh, would 'twere in my power at once to crush them, and share thy flight, thy dangers, and thy woes. But oh, that fearful thought, my father's curse! A father who, whate'er his faults to others, has none to me. No, no, I dare not grieve him, and we must part, Lothair.
Weeping.
Your pardon, princess. Time flies. Your absence may create suspicions, whose danger...
Straight I come. And whither wilt thou, dear friend, direct thy wandering course?
Thou knowest the Christian kings prepare a potent force to free the Holy Land from hands of heathens. I'll aid the attempt. Who knows but heaven may grant me to hurl some fierce barbarian from that throne his foul idolatry and crimes pollute? Oh, then how swift my keel shall cut the billows! Love's purple wings shall agitate the air to swell my sails, and waft me back to Europe, in Emma's eyes to read my purest praises, and lay at Emma's feet my heart and sceptre.
Come thus, and Emma's thine. But shouldst thou fall, rest thou assured, my love, no rival e'er shall clasp this hand on which thy lips have rested. A cloistered mourner, wrapped in sable weeds, I'll weep thy loss till life be wept away. Farewell. O heaven, farewell.
Exit Central Arch.
I'll straight return. Wait thou in yonder cave.
Exit Central Arch. Exit Lothair into the cave. Adelgitha, with a torch, descends the flight of steps.
Not come yet?
She fixes the torch in a crevice of the rock.
Then I've still some moments left to think, to pray.
She sinks on her knees and raises her hands to heaven.
Save me!
A pause, after which she rises.
How dread this silence! The night wind chills my blood. The pale, cold moon, these echoing rocks, the murmuring waves.
Michael, without.
Show yon torch.
Oh, he comes. His voice seems thunder to my ear. Now then, for life or death.
Enter Michael Ducas, Centre Arch.
Lo, where she stands, destined to crown at once my love and vengeance. Now, princess, I miss that high demeanour, inspiring such respect when last we parleyed. No scornful smile, no virtuous lightnings flashing, quick from thy eye to strike presumption dead. Nay, speak, and let me hear thy lips once more school with condign reproof licentious passion, and teach how great Salerno's virtuous daughter sees nothing fearful but deserved disgrace.
I'm humbled, weak, a sufferer, and a woman. Now, if thou hast the heart, insult me still.
Insult thee? No, ungrateful. Those bright eyes still o'er my heart hold an unbounded empire. Fain would I hush thy grief.
Oh, if thou wouldst, how easy were the task. Look on me, prince. Grief tears my heart. My eyes are swollen with weeping. And thou mayst calm that heart and dry those eyes. Those fatal letters, yield them to my prayers, save me from shame, and I'll through life implore heaven on thy head to shower its choicest blessings.
Nay, will not trouble heaven, fair dame. In thee I see that blessing which my soul most covets, and mine it must be. I hate thy Guiscard. I find his dearest gems are thee and honour, and both this night are lost.
Adelgitha, starting.
Mean'st thou?
This night I'll bear thee hence, and brand the man I hate with shame immortal. Thou'rt in my power.
No, tyrant, thou art deceived. I've still one refuge left, and here I swear, ere Guiscard's cheek shall know one tear of grief, or blush of shame occasioned by my fault, in death's embrace I'll shelter me from thine, and stab my heart, rather than the Guiscard's honour.
Michael, ironically.
Thou die. Alas, I'm skilled in woman's courage, and know what vows she swears, and how she keeps them. Swords, precipices, poison, racks, and flames, viewed in perspective she esteems mere trifles. But when the moment comes, she thinks 'twere pity to stain her skin so very white with blood, so wipes her eyes and lays aside her dagger.
Unmanly slanderer!
Michael, fiercely.
Yet, though fate had sworn the hour which made thee mine should hear thy knell, mine would I make thee still.
Oh, barbarian! Fiend! Thou lov'st as others hate!
Though pleasure fly me, I'll quaff full draughts from sweet revenge's bowl. Living thou'rt mine.
Undead.
Thou art not Guiscard's, and that's some comfort still.
Crosses to right. Adelgitha, drawing a dagger.
Then take that comfort, and triumph o'er my course.
Offering to stab herself.
Rash woman, hold!
Wrests the dagger from her and throws it on the ground.
And now?
Our treacherous arm!
crosses to right.
No power can save thee. No, mid yon rocks e'en now the vessel waits, destined to waft thee hence.
Oh, heavens!
Away then, I'll bear thee to the bark.
Adelgitha throws herself at his feet.
I sink before thee! She kneels to thee who ne'er yet knelt to man. Have thou compassion!
None. None.
Adelgitha, in a terrible voice, while she seizes a dagger which lies near her and starts from the ground.
Then perish, tyrant!
Stabs him.
Oh, murderess!
He staggers back some paces and falls senseless on the earth. Adelgitha, who has remained in a menacing attitude, starts with horror at the last word.
Murderess. Right. Right, that 'tis now my fittest name. Rise, demons. Rise. 'Tis Adelgitha calls you. Her hand has signed in blood the infernal bond, which makes her yours forever. Rise, then. Rise and shake the rocks with horrid mirth, loud shrieking. Rejoice, rejoice, the murderess is our own.
Enter Lothair from the cave, with his sword drawn.
Murder was shrieked. Ha! Speak thy business here, and what thou art.
Ah, fiend, who comes to banquet on blood among these rocks, who much has drank and thirsts for more. Observe these flaming eyes. Mark the black drops that trickle from the steel. And if thy life is dear, avoid my presence. Advance not, or thou diest.
That voice. Amazement. 'Tis she, the princess, sure.
Dropping his sword.
Luther! Aurora, this still was wanting.
Supports herself against the rock.
Love and bruise her dagger. And lo, of course, whose gaping wound. O princess, what hast thou done?
A deed of guilt, of madness, and of what guilt thine eyes express too well. Nay, give thy hatred words, I fain would die. And speak but thou with truth and force. I hate thee, and lightning would not strike me dead too soon.
Hate thee? Oh, hours of bliss, my brain whirls round. I know not what to think, or say, or do.
Throws down sword.
I can but feel, all guilty as thou art, the world holds nothing which my soul loves dearer.
Say'st thou? Thanks heaven for this last drop of comfort thrown in my bitter cup. Lothair, this heart thou dost not know. Hark, this rock echoes with hurried steps. If here I'm found, my fame, my life are lost. Save me, Lothair. Save me. For I'm so guilty that I dare not die. Save me. Save me.
They're at hand. Fly, fly. Yon steps conduct.
Adelgitha, attempting to reach them, but sinking back ready to faint and catching at a broken piece of the rock.
I cannot. My strength fails me. My doom is fixed.
Lothair, raising her.
Take courage. Rest on me. The torch.
Taking it in one hand while the other clasps Adelgitha.
Come, come. Fear not. I'll die or save you. Nay, come, away, away.
Exeunt by the steps. Enter Imma, hastily, central arch.
Fly, fly, Lothair! Julian is seized, and Reinulf this way hastens. Lothair! He answers not. O heaven, they come!
Enter Reinulf, Julian, and 8 guards with torches, central arch. Reinulf to Julian.
If thou deceiv'st me, wretch, thy life shall pay for it. Not here?
In yonder cave.
Emma, standing before the entrance of the cave.
Stay, Ranulf, stay! Pursue your search no further. On my life, the babe, who ne'er yet lisped the name of mother, is not more guiltless than Lothair.
His flight argues not innocence. Your pardon, princess. I needs must on.
To the guards.
This way.
Exeunt with 4 guards into the cave.
My child, farewell.
Dies.
Oh, horror!
Faints on the body. Lothair rushing down the steps.
It was Emma shrieked.
Reinulf, entering left, followed by the guards.
Lothair! Guards! Seize him!
Lothair, held by the guards.
Emma!
Part of the guards detain Lothair in the background, while the rest form a group around Emma and her father. Reinulf, a tall martial figure in armor, stands in the middle, extending one arm towards Lothair. Tableau. End of Act 4. Act 5 of Adelgitha, or The Fruits of a Single Error by Matthew Lewis. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information, or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 5. Scene 1. A Gothic hall splendidly illuminated. Banquet tables on right and left, around which are Tancred and the knights, pages attending. Throne and chairs. Guiscard on throne. Flourish.
Why, this looks well. Fill every goblet high.
All fill goblets.
O heavens, 'tis sweet o'er friendship's bowl to talk of perils past, and share our joys with these who shared our dangers.
Rising.
But speak of war no more, for lo, she comes whose presence sheds around her peace and joy.
All rise. Enter Adelgitha, with Claudia and ladies.
O welcome, welcome as the wished-for port to some long-absent seaman. Why, my soul, hast thou so long deprived me of thy sight?
Guiscard, so ill I merit. I'm so conscious, my heart, that couldst thou read.
Guiscard, with anxiety.
Methinks thou'rt strangely pale. Yet 'tis no wonder, that place where thou hast been to-night.
Adelgitha, alarmed.
To-night? That place thou knewest then?
That religious duties have long detained thee in St. Hilda's chapel, and much I fear the damp from vaults exhaling, the marble walls, the night wind's chilling blasts.
Adelgitha, with a mixture of irony.
True, the night wind. Oh, 'tis nothing more. 'Twill soon be past.
Guiscard, taking a goblet from a page.
I trust so. Look round thee, sweet. Apulia's champions stand, expecting from thy lips their best reward. Greet them, my love.
Adelgitha takes a bowl, then suddenly dashes it on the ground.
Away! 'Tis filled with blood!
She raves!
Guiscard, surprised.
What means it?
Have I deserved this, Guiscard? I ever loved thee with such truth, such fondness. I know how monstrous was my fault, but this... Oh, this was cruel. Cruel.
Weeping on Claudia's bosom.
Why weep and hide thy face? Turn to thy Guiscard, turn to him who loves thee.
Adelgitha, eagerly.
Thou lovest me. Oh, repeat those blessed words. Swear still thou lovest me.
Canst thou doubt my love?
Adelgitha, insisting on the word.
Still. Lovest me still. Oh, pronounce that word. Still, still.
Guiscard, surprised at her wild energy.
still love thee more than life.
Adelgitha, exulting.
Why then, ye heavens, in thunder speak your wrath, I'll hear and smile. Conscience, thy sting is lost. He loves me still, and all things else are trifles. Hail, warriors, hail! Resume your seats.
All sit.
Fill high your bowls with wine, swell round me choral music, and peals of bursting joy. Rise, rise, and drown that voice I will not hear.
This change so sudden, this frantic rapture.
Ask not what it means. Thou lovest me, and I'm blessed. Let that suffice. Come, chieftains. Guiscard, come.
Emma, without.
Where's the prince?
Adelgitha, shuddering.
'Tis Emma. 'Tis his daughter.
Emma rushes in wildly, and Reinulf.
Justice! Justice! O princely Guiscard, at thy feet I fall, and clasp thy knees, and call on thee for vengeance. See these torn ringlets, pallid cheeks, eyes swollen, and pity me. My heart is stabbed, is breaking. He's dead. Oh, heaven, he's dead.
Rise, Emma, rise. Whom mourn ye?
Can I speak the name and live? The assassin's dagger, near the rocks he lies, pale, breathless, cold. I threw me by his side and strove to warm him 'gainst my heart. In vain. He's dead. He's dead. My father's dead.
Thy father?
Savagely murdered. Oh, wretched Emma.
How I suffer.
Emma to Adelgitha.
Ah, you weep, but had you seen, as I did, his pale cheeks, his gaping wound, the cold dews stealing down his brows, his limbs convulsed by dying pangs?
Emma, Emma, thou drive me mad.
Confused by rage and horror, I know not to console. But doubt not, lady, if still Otranto holds the wretch, I'll find him, and take such dread revenge.
Forgive my boldness. Fainting through anguish on her father's corpse, the princess knows not, ere we left the rocks, the assassin was surprised.
Produce the wretch.
Exit Reinulf, and returns with Lothair in chains.
Behold him.
Lothair the assassin?
No, prince, no. On my soul, no. If aught that's ill had menaced the life of Emma's father, he had found no surer safeguard than Lothair.
Guiscard to Reinulf.
What proofs?
He's lurking mid the rocks, his sword unsheathed, found near the corpse. Their well-known enmity, this day's events.
All confirm him guilty.
To Lothair.
What hast thou done, base wretched youth? Thy crime at once robs thee of life, and me of honour. A sovereign slain, a sovereign at my court, who sought protection and who found a grave.
What can I say? So deep and dark a gloom involves my fate, that I despair to pierce it. The snow that falls is not from taint so pure as are my hands from blood, my lips from falsehood.
Then clear thy conduct, and relieve my heart, which trembles for thy love, thy life, thy virtue. Who placed thy falchion by my father's corse? So near him, didst thou not hear his shriek for succour? Knowst thou whose hand? He turns away in silence.
Adelgitha, aside.
Reward him, heaven.
Wilt thou not speak?
I'll answer this, but no more. As I've a soul to save, the hand which slew thy father was not mine.
Then whose, barbarian? Go, thou ne'er hast loved me. Lived in thy breast one feeling spark, thou couldst not suffer such doubts to rack her soul, who would not grieve thine for the world's wealth.
Inhuman Emma! To die were better than to cause those tears. Oh, spare me, spare me! Leave me to my fate.
I know not what to think. his oaths, his anguish, should he indeed be guiltless?
Gracious Prince, know that on Michael's corpse the note was found which lured him to these secret rocks.
Was it not signed?
It was not, but the writing perhaps may lend some cue.
You counsel well. Produce the note.
Exit Rhinulf. Adelgitha, aside.
I'm lost.
Lothair, aside.
She started. Then 'twas hers.
Adelgitha, in a low voice to Claudia.
Now, Claudia. Now, resource.
Lothair, aside.
I hear his steps.
Adelgitha, breathless with anxiety.
Now.
Lothair, aside.
What must be done? Oh, wretched woman!
Re-enter Rhinulf. Rhinulf, kneeling.
This letter, Prince.
Lothair, snatching it and tearing it.
Shall ne'er betray its writer. This makes the secret safe.
Rash youth, forbear.
Emma, in despair.
Then there's no hope. He's guilty.
What means thy daring act?
It means I know the hand which traced these lines and murdered Michael. The cry of murder drew me to the spot where Michael breathed his last. I seized the assassin whose life was in my power. I swore to save it.
Adelgitha, aside.
Oh, generous youth.
Guiscard, peremptorily.
One word decides thy fate. One choice is left thee. Reveal the culprit, or thou diest this instant.
Lead to the scaffold.
Guiscard, furious.
'Tis enough. Guards, seize him.
Yet be advised, Lothair, nor hope to bury this strange, mysterious secret in the grave. The rack will force it from thee.
Try its strength, then. Thou'lt find that virtue has more power to blunt the shafts of pain than man has art to forge them. Nor can thy torture so afflict my body as violated vows would rack my mind.
I'll hear no more. Bear him to instant death.
Distracting sound.
Emma, not one last look.
Force him away.
Emma, farewell. Farewell.
Dragged away by the guards.
Obey me. To the block.
Adelgitha, with a dreadful shriek.
Oh, spare him! Save him! He's guiltless!
Guiscard, starting.
How?
Adelgitha, desperate.
He's guiltless! He's my son!
All start while she rushes to Lothair and clasps him in her arms.
Thy son?
Thy son?
Oh, gods! What is it I hear?
My shame, my guilt, my fondness, my despair. 'Twas I who murdered Michael. I, who now repeat Lothair is guiltless, is my son. Please to lay down my life to save my child, and die for him who would have died for me.
Embracing him. Lothair, kneeling.
Oh, mother!
Adelgitha, whose virtues art thou a murderess? Thou?
Nay, never doubt it. I own my crime, and I desire no pardon. The tale thou heardst from me today was mine. The father of Lothair, long ere thou saw'st me, robbed me of peace and honour. Fatal chance betrayed to Michael's heir this dangerous secret. His heart was hard. My brain was wrought to frenzy. He knew and threatened me. I feared and slew him.
Unhappy woman, what hast thou done? My brain, 'twill bear no more.
Rhinulf supports him. Julian brings down chair.
My son.
To Lothair.
My son, curse me not.
Curse thee? Kneeling, thus I bless thee, and swear, could drops wrung from my inmost heart repay the blood thy hand has shed.
Guiscard, recovering himself.
This instant let all retire, except the princess.
Adelgitha, detaining Lothair.
Oh, no, 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 I dare not!
Guiscard, solemn and commanding.
Adelgitha.
Adelgitha, in a faltering voice.
Prince, I obey.
Exeunt Imma, guards, etc. Manent Guiscard and Adelgitha. Guiscard, after a pause.
I'll not reproach thee. Fear not. I will but say, and say it in mild words too, I will but tell thee, grief impedes my utterance, that we must part forever.
Oh!
Thou knowest me, knowest well my dread of shame, my sense of honour, knowest well my love for thee. But what I suffer to find thee false and guilty, this, oh this thou couldst not know, or sure thou hast not erred.
Adelgitha, in agony.
Heart, heart!
Guiscard, his emotions gradually get the better of him.
Is it true? Can it indeed be real? Thou on whom I doted, thou whose lips I thought ne'er knew a falsehood, whose eyes spoke each wish of the heart so plainly, in whose arms I hoped to have met death, which in thine arms had been so free from pain. And now.
Adelgitha, her grief changes into gloomy fierceness.
And now, you hate me.
Guiscard, wild and desperate.
Hate thee? Would I did! But mark, ungrateful, mark these groans of anguish drawn from my soul, my faltering voice, my locks, which thus I tear in frenzy, and these tears. Mark these, then ask me if I hate thee.
Sinks on a seat, overcome by the violence of his feelings.
Flow those tears for me! Speak, Guiscard, speak!
Falling at his feet.
Flow they for me!
He motions her to leave him. She rises with frantic gesture.
For that I was to hope it. He shuns me, he abhors me. Why delay then? Where are your gods? Come, prepare the scaffold, and while I seek it, bid the indignant rabble load me with scoffs and base revilings.
Guiscard, starting up with looks of horror at the idea.
Thee? 'Tis fixed, and farewell honour, farewell joy.
To Adelgitha, resolute.
Thy hand and mine partners in weal and woe. Through life I'll never leave thee, and in death one grave shall hold us both. Imploring pardon, I'll wander by thy side from shrine to shrine, a barefoot pilgrim. Still in toils and perils my arms shall guard thee, and my voice shall soothe. And when thou weepest to hear insulting crowds, pursue thy bleeding steps with taunts and curses. With my torn hair I'll wipe thy tears away, and hide thee in my breast from scorn and sorrow.
Prince Guiscard, heard I right? Canst thou forgive me?
I can. I do.
And love me still?
Still love thee, and more than light, than life, than fame, than virtue.
I'm happy. Guiscard, thus I thank thee.
Embracing him.
And next, reward thee thus.
Stabs herself. Guiscard, petrified with horror.
Help within there.
Enter Imma, Lothair, etc.
What mean those cries? Oh, cruel sight!
He receives Adelgitha in his arms. Adelgitha to Guiscard.
Thus only could I repay thy wondrous truth, and spare thee the shame of loving where esteem was lost.
Fly, fly for aid!
No. The steel was faithful. 'Tis my heart's blood which... Oh, that pang!
Falling. Guiscard, hastening to her and raising her in his arms.
She dies! Look up, my love, my soul! Look up once more! One parting word, one long adieu, one blessing.
Bless thee. Farewell. Oh, I am guilty. Guilty. Pray for my soul's repose. Pray too, hereafter, our spirits in a better, happier world. Heaven. Oh, heaven. 'Tis past.
She dies. Guiscard throws himself in despair on the dead body near which Lothair is kneeling, while Imma is fainting, supported by Claudia and ladies. Slow music. End of Act 5. Note: I make no doubt that Adelgitha's fate will be reckoned too severe. In my justification I must observe that my object in writing this tragedy was to illustrate a particular fact, namely, the difficulty of avoiding the evil consequences of a first false step. It appeared to me that the more venial the offence, and the more amiable the character of the offender, the more strongly would the above position be proved, and the very nature of my object made it necessary that Adelgitha should be the constant victim of her single transgression in this life, and only receive the reward of her many virtues in the life to come. But above all, I must request that no one will mistake Adelgitha for a heroine. I meant to represent in her a woman with all her sex weakness, whose natural inclinations were virtuous and benevolent, but who was totally unprovided with that firmness of mind which might have enabled her to resist the force of imperious circumstances. Accordingly she gives way to them one after another, and is led on gradually and involuntarily from crime to crime, till she finds herself involved in guilt beyond the possibility of escaping. Such was my plan, though perhaps the defects of its execution may have prevented the reader from discovering it till now. End of Adelgitha, or the Fruits of a Single Error, by Matthew Lewis.